Randy Ambrosie joins us on a day where there's massive news. The XFL and the CFL are going to enter into at least exploratory talks, Randy. I'm most curious, how did this all come about?
Well, yeah, that question's been asked several times today, and I think, like most of these things, somehow it starts somehow. Look, the bottom line is, we are, as you know, we are talking to all the leagues, not just in our sport, but in other sports. And somewhere along the way, we ended up having this conversation with the ownership group at the XFL, and it started a conversation which was really just kind of explaining what we were trying to do here, what they were trying to do. And somewhere in all of that, we ended up reaching a point where we said, we think there's a lot of common vision, there's a lot of common DNA. And what we really wanted to do today was not have those discussions in the shadows. We wanted to have a more transparent conversation, recognizing that our league, it belongs to the fans, it belongs to all of us, all the stakeholders, the players and everyone. So let's have a conversation that's more out in the open.
And what are we talking about exactly here? Because speculation is going to run rampant, and I understand it's in the early stages. But are we talking about a merger, a season where the CFL and the XFL teams have an interlocking schedule? What are the kinds of possibilities that you think could be in the future?
Yeah, the best thing about that, the answer I'm about to give, Justin, is it's absolutely the bedrock truth is that what we are talking about is talking about talking. And again, I had a great moment earlier today when Steve Shammy and I got to call the Players Association. And it was good because something we're trying to really do well is to talk with the players about things. And I got to say, guys, we're going to talk about talking. So rather than bringing a baked cake to the party, we're just going to talk about building a cake. And it felt really good to have that discussion with the PA today. So it is, we're putting no expectations on this other than two highly energized groups that see value in what each other does. And how might we help grow the game of football together and collaborate?
Does it have to do with the financial situation the league is currently in? Obviously not playing in 2020 cost the league millions of dollars. Do you see this as a potential partnership that could benefit the CFL financially?
Well, look, again, we're not there yet. We're not putting financial metrics around this, but obviously when you're talking about sharing each other's best practices and talking about our aspirations, at the core of it, you're looking for opportunities to grow the game. And if you follow that, the natural extension, Justin, of growing the game is having better financial outcomes. So, in all of this, yes, there is an expectation that this is going to take us someplace better. Exactly where that someplace is, we don't know, but it is certainly, it was a great day to be talking about talking with really, really good people. And when you're in the room with them, as we've had a chance to be, there's a tremendous authenticity to who they are. And their respect for us has been obvious, and that's one of the many reasons why it's been such an encouraging day today.
Have you personally talked to The Rock and exchanged some ideas early?
Yeah, we've had a chance to be on calls together, and again, I say this about their entire group: Danny Garcia, Jeffrey Pollock, Dwayne Johnson, Jerry Cardinal. They're good people, and they smile. I think they bring their Canadian to all of their meetings, and they've been a real pleasure to talk to.
Does the CFL need a partnership with the XFL to survive and maybe even thrive financially in the future, or would the league be all right on its own?
Well, again, we're entering into this conversation because we're looking for to be a bigger, more successful CFL, and you don't know where that is going to go. Look, we're not doing this out of a sense of desperation. We're doing this because we see it as an opportunity, and that is the fundamental orientation we're taking into this. Is we're not doing this because we have a blind panic. We're doing this because we feel good about talking with them about collaborating to grow the game of football, and starting on that very positive footing is a really good thing.
Does that mean we're going to see the 3-down game being played in the XFL? Are we going to see the 4-down game being played in the CFL? What are your initial thoughts there?
Yeah, again, you're way ahead of us. Today was a day about talking. And that's what makes this so cool, is that we decided, it's the word that somebody used earlier was atypical. This is atypical. Normally you bake the cake, you ice the cake, you put the candles in the cake, and then you present the cake. This is just talking about how do we want to build a cake, and if so, who's got the best ingredients to collaborate. And that's really, I think, what makes the day so unique and special.
Is it fair to say that the joint announcement from the CFL and the XFL is a little bit of a litmus test to see how people react to it, and also maybe if the two leagues are joined, the kind of waves it can make in terms of the media coverage? And even, I'll give you an example, my buddies that are in their mid-30s who don't watch the CFL are talking about this announcement. So is it a little bit of a test run in that sense?
Yeah, not really. It certainly wasn't designed that way. It may give us insights that we haven't had previously. But it wasn't designed to do that. What it was designed to do is exactly as I'm describing it. It is to open the proverbial kimono and just say, hey, we're talking to each other, and we're going to explore for opportunities to grow the game of football and help each other. Where that takes us, we don't know. But I feel good today. Like I'm just saying that me as a person, acknowledging these incredible stakeholder groups that are part of Canadian football. I get to tell them today that we're having this discussion, and that all on its own is very powerful.
The XFL has central ownership, obviously with The Rock at the center of that. The CFL has sort of 3 different structures for their ownership. How would that potentially work going forward? And is central ownership something that the CFL has considered? And did that factor into any of these discussions with the XFL, because that's their structure right now?
Yeah, again, Justin, you're just laps ahead of us. We haven't had any of those conversations. Just going back to the standard positioning. Today was about talking, and there's lots of stuff that I'm sure we'll talk about in the days and weeks and months to come. But for now, it's just acknowledging that we want to grow the game, shared passion for football, shared desire to create more opportunities for football players, a shared desire to create more engagement amongst our fans, entertainment as a tool to growing the game of football. All of those things are kind of what we've been talking about in these early days.
Does this discussion point, at least to start with the CFL and the XFL, impact the 2021 season and your attempt to put football back on the field?
No, in fact, one of the bedrock principles of what we're working on today is that we're going to do everything we can to get back on the field. That is our focus. We want to play a 21 season, want to get our players back on the field. We want to get our fans back in the stands. We're obviously watching the vaccine rollout very carefully. We're talking with public health officials about health and safety protocols. We're talking with our players about how we collaborate to be good partners to each other. We're talking to our corporate partners. So this is 21 is absolute bedrock focus. And we're having this conversation with the ownership group of the XFL about how we can collaborate to grow the game.
So that would be for potential future years, 2022, maybe and beyond.
That's right.
And in terms of the proposals with the Canadian levels of government, have those health and safety protocol proposals been presented, and where do you feel you stand at that point?
Yeah, there's a process that's been going on in collaboration between the Players Association and the league, and we've got our medical experts that are guiding us through that. Look, part of that exercise is you put these plans in front of governments, and we're not doing it. We're not doing every province all at once. We're doing them. We're doing a couple of provinces. We're learning. We're getting some feedback. We don't have infinite resources, so you want to be very systematic. But we feel good about it. Are we there? Are we reached any conclusions? No. But are there reasons to feel optimistic? Yes, and in part because we're doing it in a collaborative, thoughtful way, and we have high expectations that is the approach that's going to lead us to the greatest success.
And I'll get you out on this. How critical would it be for the CFL if the Edmonton Oilers are able to have a limited number of fans in their arena? They formally submitted a proposal to Alberta Health Services. What would that do for the CFL in their attempt to return to play in 2021?
Well, I think any progress that gets made here in the days ahead on fans starting to return to large gatherings is got to be good news for the world. Ultimately, we're all watching for those signs and signals that better days are ahead, and I'm certainly looking forward to that. And Justin, with that, my phone is ringing. I got to dash. Great to see you again, and I'll look forward to talking with you again soon.
Thanks, Commissioner. Take care. We'll let you run.
Yeah.